Hi everyone, so I wanted to talk a little bit today about shoulder adaptability and how it pertains to us in Pilates and how it pertains in the saddle. So a lot of us tend to ride and we're working with our horse, no matter what discipline you are, you want them to be light and soft in your hands and not hanging on you. So we bend them and we move, or however you ride. And if you watch my shoulders, I'm doing a lot with my forearm and my bicep. But my shoulders are kind of fixed, and sometimes they're fixed like this, or they're pretty square and set, but they're fixed. So how do you expect your horse to be loose and adaptable if you're kind of locked right here, right? And it's not that we're necessarily conscious of the lock, it's that we're trying so hard to create the image that we're really creating an image of tension in our own body, which then is going to translate through the bit, or through the arm into the bit. So you want to be able to be adaptable in your shoulders. Certainly upright, certainly balanced, certainly as square as possible based on your frame and how you sit in the saddle, but adaptable, because the difference is I bend this way or I bend this way. If I can bend this way, I can move my rib cage, which is going to help activate my hip too, which is going to activate my leg. All of this has to be adaptable so that we can translate the control and adaptability into our horse, that there is a moment of relaxation, and relaxation in our shoulders can be with them square and down. So the number one thing I do with all of my students, riders and non-riders, is I work on retraction and protraction. So you really become aware of your shoulders in relation to where you put them on your back, and the ability to feel like you can be in the saddle and move it. Because how often when you're riding do you think, oh, let me move my shoulder blade? It's not very often, right? You ask your horse to bend, maybe you think from your arm, right? Or your bicep, maybe use a cross rein, however you do it. You don't ever think, oh, if I just pull my shoulder blade in, that really takes a lot of the work from me. It also helps having your ribs engaged, and these two are connected. So I'm going to show you a little bit about what I mean. So I'm going to use the ladder barrel to show you. But you can do this against a wall. You want to stand in an L position against the wall. Feet are going to be hip width apart and arms are shoulder width apart. And what you want to do is first kind of drop your heart down. You're going to feel some tension build up in your shoulders a little bit. And your ribs are kind of reaching to the ground. Your heart is reaching to the ground. And then what you're going to do is you're going to engage your ribs, exhale, separate your shoulders, and reverse the direction you're going with the energy, so that you're kind of in a cat stretch. So it's a little bit like a modified cat and cat. Inhale and then exhale. And what you want to start to do is feel the difference of the weight distribution in your hands between the cow position and the cat position. And there's a balance, sort of a seesaw, somewhere in between where you're fairly well balanced. Your ribs are engaged and supporting you from within, and your shoulders are on your back, not too wide and not too narrow, and there's not a lot of tension in your hands, right? You're here, you're on the wall, you're balanced, but you're not driving into the wall with your hands. This is a nice balance point. From here, then we can play. Can I move one shoulder down and up? Other shoulder. How do I work my biceps? This is where you can start playing with your adaptability. It's simple, it's easy, it takes a few minutes to do, not long, and it teaches you shoulder awareness, rib cage awareness, because so many of us are not connected in these two places. And if you can connect here, you have a lot more strength in your seat, in your saddle, in your balance, even when you're walking around in real life, bending over to pick something up and standing up. When your shoulders and your ribs work for you, they make everything lighter and easier. You'll carry yourself more like a dancer, and you'll feel more comfortable. Also, it really does prevent shoulder injury. If you know how to keep your shoulders in place and allow them to move and come back to place, just like you want to take your horse's neck and maybe bend them a little bit, maybe you want to stretch it down, you want to be as adaptable as you expect your horse to be. So that's my rant on shoulders today. If you have any questions, just go ahead and reach out. I'd be happy to come. I am currently offering clinics as well as my program. So if you're interested in either, please reach out, pilatesinmotionllc.com. I'd be happy to speak.